Friends, we're back a week early, so you get a little bit of that extra stuff. I am, of course, Arthur Perkins. This is APGamingREAL, Battletech, the Endosteel, episode 3, 3027, part 11, I believe. Although the episode title could be a lie. It doesn't matter. You're watching them all in order unless you're a crazy person. So, first off, a slight apology. Last week, y'all got wrapped up in last episode, you got wrapped up in a discussion that Sam and I have in real life that's ongoing. We somehow managed to accidentally embody characters who have the exact same opinions that we do.
Wait!
Angelique Latour's stance on funding and Sam's stance on funding a budget are all right. It was pretty close to the Discord discussion we have every 2 to 3 weeks.
I want to say I am anti military industrial complex, and that is absolutely what Lachlan is trying to build.
Sure, but he's also Lachlan is also attempting to spend money that the budget doesn't have.
Look,
he's anti-austerity measure, pro continuing to spend until we can make enough money to cover it.
But that's a political tradition.
We could get into a debate about fiscal solvency and when the right time to balance budgets is. But let's be clear, what Lachlan is doing, I would not agree with in real life. It's bad. It's bad. He's trying to basically build up a military industrial complex and turn Whittington into a indispensable part of the Fed sons that way, which might work, but I'm not sure that if I was a citizen of Whittington, I'd be particularly on board.
Any other news we need to cover before we get started? Eric, by the way, new PC, everything's looking great. Seems like it's working all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, is this the new PC? Because I know
It's the new PC.
When's the new show launching?
Congrats.
I know you had a new show soon.
No.
No?
I'm back on the drawing board again.
Oh, no. All right.
No,
Well,
it's
my bad
okay.
for bringing
It's
it up.
okay.
All right.
that happens.
No, you're good.
Okay, so the very first scene we see is a black and white photograph of Kurosapaku. And then there's a voiceover by a Sam Elliott type character who goes, "Killer. Engager of clandestine operations. Why isn't this man fighting the Draconis Combine?" And then it's like a black and white photo of your Raven. Proud of operations against the Capellian Confederation. And then it shows a map of the Federated Suns and like all the star systems you would have to go to get to the other side of the Federated Suns to fight the Capellian Confederation. Then it's a black and white photo of Sebastian Bassett. Criminal. Scumbag. Murderer. Drug dealer. Sebastian Bassett. Then it's a black and white photo of Angelique Latour, but it's like the worst photo of her you could ever find. She was like just crying. Her dress looks like a mess. She's like stumbling down some stairs. You know, it's just like an average day for everybody else. Like something really bad happened. But for her, this is now like the horrible...
Wearing Crocs, drinking a Slurpee.
Yeah, exactly.
Some intern was given the task, find the worst picture of Angelique Latour you possibly can. Give me some options.
Angelique Latour, stupid. And then it changes to color photographs and videos, and it's like vineyards and rolling hills, and someone's like, good hardworking people. Blue collar people, and then it's Jasper Hiroka, like 1 foot on a shovel, his arm resting on it, talking to farmers. Jasper Hiroka, man of the people. And then it's like pictures of Tamari in like overalls. She's got this very complex like headband weave that gives her like 2 poofy hair tails coming out the back, and she's like picking the fruit off the vine. It's one of those, what does Apple call these? They're like 3-second long images, and Apple's like, they're not videos, they're enhanced pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's like those, right? It transitions between her like looking at the fruit and then like putting it in a bag. Salt of the earth, man of the people, Jasper Hiroka. This advertisement was paid for by People for Jasper Hiroka.
Oh, awesome.
No
I
idea who these
love it.
people are, but that was really
I don't
good.
know why he was shaming me. I'm part of the family.
What do you want me? I didn't pay for it.
Well, people for Jasper Hiroka apparently. No, it's
Yeah. Someone's burning
It
money.
didn't say I'm Jasper Hiroka and I
Yeah.
approve this
that's
message.
true.
though.
That is true.
Yeah.
Although I'd point out that the Federated Senate does not have that law.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Well,
Oh, yeah.
fair
I mean-
enough.
Oh yeah.
Do they have any campaigning laws, really? Like,
No,
doesn't seem
I
like
would
it.
point out that the only people you need to campaign for is for like local office, since that's the only office you can
No, like,
campaign for.
unless AP, you want to make sure that you don't get dragged through the mud in noble court like that idiot, whatever his name is, who got sent to Solaris because he has a bad reputation.
Well, there's quite a few people who that could apply to.
What's his name?
Little
I can't
Draconis?
remember. No.
Oh, Justin Chang Allard.
Yeah, Justin Chang, who
Don't worry,
got-
we'll hear more about him soon.
Yeah, exactly.
So the opening scene, it was obvious that this was a commercial for whatever show's about to come on. And then
Prime Royal season 3.
perhaps to your surprise,
Battletech.
good Baron, your wife is sitting down and having a discussion with James Jives that you didn't know about. So James is just like, and now, ladies and gentlemen, for a special sit down with Baroness Xenia Menshikov, her first public interview since the lake bombing. Good morning, Baroness. And she goes, good day, James. So she's got like a pixie cut now. All of her slightly not well taken care of hair has been chopped down. She's got one of those hospital, like the bag things with her because, she just had a child, and they're very clearly like menacing men who are both hospital orderlies and bodyguards standing just beside her that are there to make sure if anything happens, she's going to be perfectly okay. And just to resume our discussion that we were having before the program began, we're here to talk about family today. And Xenia goes, yes, I wanted to talk about family, specifically mine. Later today, I'll be signing the papers in order to adopt someone new into our family. I know that this has been discussed quite a bit, and there have been a lot of rumors, wrongly pointed rumors, towards some of my friends, including my good friend Baron Hiroka. Rosamund Alicia Robinson is a young woman who now works for my husband, whom he had previously had a fling with. Together, they had a daughter, Celeste, who will be adopted into our family today as Celeste McDougal, the youngest sister of our new family, only in line to inherit down a specific set of circumstances. James, I can see you want to ask a lot of questions. Rosamund will be staying on with us, and I consider her a close friend and an aunt to my own child and to Celeste, of course, as her mother. Families are complicated, and I think everyone in the inner sphere and your viewership knows that. Everyone has unusual circumstances. Everyone knows a family that could be in a situation like ours. The only thing that makes this unusual is the matter of inheritance.
AP,
I'm not... Yes.
AP, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Hold on. Did you just say that? Is she announcing that it's my child?
No,
Is she
she's
the child of
specifically
Hiroka?
saying it's not your
it's
child.
not your
Not
child.
my
So
child.
that's-
Sorry. Oh
that-
my god.
yeah,
okay, my
that-
missing comprehension is balls.
So just
I'm
to
like
be
freaking out
clear-
in chat right now. Okay.
There have been several implications that it is your child in the tabloids so far on the show.
Yeah, I know.
She's
I thought
trying
she
to
was
clear the
confirming it. I know, and I
rumors.
thought she was here to
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
like,
no, she's
flat out
doing the
confirming it or
opposite.
something. And so I'm like, what the fuck? But no,
No.
it's just my ears are apparently made of worms. I'm sorry, we're good.
So she continues and says, I'm not here to discuss this any further. My family's family business is our own, James. And I'm willing to talk on any other topic that you like, but all I ask is privacy after this explanation to finally end these rumors which have enshrouded everyone here. And James is just like shook. It's clear that this is the first time this has happened live on the show, and he turns and gives the James Jive smile and is like, ladies and gentlemen, incredible announcements here today, exclusive to Donegal Broadcasting Corporation. And then someone like plays the DBC theme. DBC.
I lost my sound effects. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
They continue talking for a little while, and then at some point, James is like holding his hand to his ear, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, please hold a second. Please hold. And a moment after that, the two men that are standing beside Xenia put a hand to their ear as well. Then one of them produces a bulletproof vest that's more like an artist's smock and throws it over her. And the two of them like lift her up like a piece of board onto their shoulders and begin running her out of the studio. And we cut back to Lachlan McDougall watching the bottom left-hand corner flashes live.
Oh boy.
Lachlan, someone burst into the room that you're with his gun out, and he's like, sir, get on the ground! And he throws you a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, Lachlan will put on the bulletproof vest and attempt to follow directions.
Yeah, like four more guys.
I think there's maybe this awkward moment. Like we've seen in the past that like Lachlan is not the best in these situations when he's not in a mech. We kind of saw this in the snipers. So probably there's like this awkward moment where he's like trying to get on the ground and put the vest on at the same time.
Don't worry.
And just like looks really awkward doing
Four more
it.
men flood into the room and help you in the way that one of them's like, stop struggling, sir, and like shuts it and like bolts it shut on you. Then they pick you up and haul you over their shoulders.
Good.
They haul you up to the roof where there is a helicopter just getting started and throw you in the back seat. At this point, they sit you up and they're like, you're okay now, sir. There's been an incident.
Would someone like to explain to me what is going on?
So he basically hands you like a little mini television radio that you would watch baseball on while you're working on a car. You know what I'm talking about? And we see Sebastian Bassett. He's missing his left arm. He's got huge amounts of bandages over there, blood all over his body, scars everywhere. And he goes, after the vicious attack on my life by the internal security force of the Draconis Combine, I have survived, and this is unacceptable that nobles are continuing to be injured and killed. And then he like passes out live on camera, and people are like shrieking at the halls of government where this has happened. We can see as the camera turns in the background that like several of the knights, several of the gangsters that he's knighted and given Battlemechs to are like 100% definitely dead. Human bodies are not meant to fold in that way. The television goes out and there's like there's like an announcer warning like this footage is unacceptable for children under the ages of 18 unaccompanied by a parent. We apologize that such footage was shown. We'll give you a minute in order to arrange your families, and then it like gives you a countdown until resuming live broadcast.
Of course.
Yeah, Lachlan is just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, where are we going?
Where do you want to go, sir? We're just getting you in the air. And like, as he says that, the helicopter is rising up.
Oh, that's a where? Yeah, he's just going to say, take me to Xenia.
All right. I think at some point, there's like two helicopters going at each other, and then they like circle around a while and then sit down in the middle of a field. Yes, Bassett is definitely alive, but he's gravely injured.
He lost an arm at the very least.
And his first instinct was to grab a camera and do an interview.
Oh, he hadn't been getting... I assumed that this was like from like a treatment. He hadn't like been getting treatment?
Correct.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck. Okay, so he may die.
Yeah.
Quick question before we go forward, because I'm actually not sure about this. Is it possible to pilot a battle mech if you are like crippled in that way?
No.
No.
So someone like Justin Shang Allard got a cybernetic arm, and that wasn't considered good enough, but it did have a neural interface built into it that he could plug in the chair. If you have that kind of money, you could do it. I mean, basically the Federated Suns military paid for that procedure and the special technology that needed to be uploaded to Yenlo Wang, his personal battle mech, to do it.
Got it. But so basically, like, replacing an arm is, a huge deal.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a prosthetic or a cybernetic arm. And it should be noted that there isn't a huge stigma against cybernetics in the Federated Suns, but in some place like the Free Worlds League, it's considered like garbage trash.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're like 80s prosthetics, so they're
they're not great.
Is this like Akira level prosthetics almost?
It's like early. It's like poor. It's like shitty Cyberpunk 2020. Chrome.
Okay. Yeah. You know. Okay. Cool. We're on the same page. All right. So Lachlan will try to. Does Xenia know what has happened yet? I'm assuming she's seen the same footage. So he'll like go to hug her because I'm assuming she's like freaking out because like one of her closest family friends may die very soon.
Yes, that's correct. She actually is freaking out super huge.
Yeah, so he will like
I don't know that you've ever seen her show this much concern for anything beyond her children.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I guess Lachlan would probably try to he would obviously hug her first and give her some time, but he would probably try to get her into one of the choppers and then have them take us back to the estate or something, somewhere that they can go that's more secure, and he doesn't really think that there's going to be another attack because that's sort of not how the Dracana stuff works, but there could be a bomb somewhere like there was last time. So yeah, that will be his goal, and to mostly just be kind of just listening if Xenia wants to talk, or just being there to comfort her if she's kind of more in a shocked state.
Okay. She is very shocked to be. Is there anything else you wanted out of this scene?
Not really. I think maybe the thing to kind of get at is in Lachlan's head, there's all sorts of things that he would rather talk about, with there's a lot of events all in a row, and the announcement, and now they're going to have to deal with this political fallout, but he's kind of just going to set all of that aside, and let her take a moment, which I guess maybe shows a little bit of growing up from Lachlan compared to how
and it should be noted that she did this entirely without talking to you, but she knew that you were going to make an announcement and decided to do it herself.
Yeah. I mean, he still wants to have a conversation with her at some point about how they had talked about trying to be on the same page, but yeah, that'll have to be later.
Same page with an AP's NPC.
Listen,
luck.
Good luck. There was a comment this week from someone who had just watched the she can't get a hold of you through Comstar, so she basically freaks out episode, and was like, AP handled this terribly, and I was like, okay, well, I thought it was good drama. Kuro.
Yes. AP, don't you know you're expected to be perfect at all perfect times to every single person who watches? Despite people with different points of view.
Sometimes you have to do things just for the pointless drama of it. I've seen Gossip Girl. Actually, I haven't seen Gossip Girl, but I assume that's what that show is about.
That's what happens.
It's called Gossip Girl, so
I assume that too. So without having seen it.
Kuro, you have not heard back from your boy Vega.
Is there
you've seen the news, and it's pretty clear that this was almost certainly Vega's doing, given the target.
Would I know the protocol of our family of how long it takes? Well, I mean,
it's past the point he should have contacted you.
Okay, so let's see. And is there a method in which we normally would determine whether or not there's evidence tracing back to anything?
Yeah, I mean, again, he hasn't contacted you, so
sure. It could just be because it's taking him longer to make his.
Yeah, it's been way too long.
Okay. So it's a concerning amount of time.
So beyond his physical body, all of his equipment is genuine Draconis Combine.
Sure.
Internal security force. So the only thing you need to worry about is like his face or dental records or his blood.
Sure. So yeah, I guess from that, like what is the Eddie as a player hasn't necessarily committed this kind of thing, and so can we? I mean, I've watched enough movies, but can we assume that Kuro would know kind of a protocol or a system of, well, if he hasn't contacted me, then we must assume the worst. And
yes, you're at that stage right now. You're at the assume the worst.
Okay. Then I will send out the cleaners, as it were, to clean up any kind of mess and try to ensure. Basically, like, I think they would come on as a front of either just normal citizens concerned and like looking at something, or as like they would infiltrate like an investigational crew that's going to investigate this bombing.
All right, because like every cop in the Capitol is investigating the bombing right now.
Right, sure.
If you have any way of looking like a first responder, it would not be weird if you showed up.
Right, exactly. So like I imagine there are people that we can activate, kind of sleepers, that could
I don't know about sleepers, unless you're telling me that you've embedded undercover agents into the local first responders team. I think it's way more reasonable that you have trained operatives who just have generic, outfits that they can just put on and be like, yes, sure. I am a paramedic.
No, this is some Blackbriar Jason Bourne shit.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
All right, if that's what you say, then that's what it is. If you thoroughly infiltrated the local government,
I mean, I think ultimately what it comes down to is that Kuro, like, this is kind of how these things work. Is we can either, well, yeah, it could be one or the other, right? And I'll kind of lean on which direction you think makes most sense.
I mean, I feel like infiltrating your own government is usually the first step on treasonous paths.
Right. So that's, I think, where Kuro wouldn't go. Ultimately.
So two people step out of a white sedan. The side of it says paramedic dramatically. The police let them through. They begin investigating the local area, looking for any evidence that Vega was there. In the background, there's like dozens of cops. All of them are like standing around, says, don't cross this line. And, firefighters are putting out fires.
Can we also suggest, like, if they are first responders, like, this is part of our ultimate plan where the paramedics go in and try to help Bassett?
I don't think that's going to be possible. Bassett's got his own people, just like everyone else here does, that are going to take care of him. The one thing you do know...
No, I'm just kidding.
The one thing you do know is that he's definitely unconscious because he collapsed in the middle of a press conference.
Okay.
Dramatically.
Yeah, very dramatically. Wait, he was in the middle of a press conference when this went down?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So no wonder he had a camera right on hand.
He was rededicating the statue that our good man was hiding behind during the assassination attempt.
Oh.
So this is like the newly recast one. And so he has dramatically been bombed on the same steps. The statue, of course, is re-injured as well.
My goodness.
3 of his gangster knights are spread messily across the steps of government.
Wow.
It's not good. It's a bad scene.
Yeah, it definitely has echoes of the Draconis Combine incident.
Vega is an artist, if nothing else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think the paramedics would basically go in and make sure and clean up and like try to assist in any way they can. Maybe with the goons, like, making sure that not that they're dead or anything like that, but just making sure that like they're showing a good scene, right?
So they leave the scene about 40 minutes later with some random person in the back of the car, right? Because they need to come away and be like, all right, we're taking this person.
Right.
They drop that person off at the hospital and then phone into you that they couldn't find Vega on the scene.
Okay. I think that's kind of when Kuro begins to.
So the police don't have any suspects yet,
right?
And there's massive confusion as to what exactly happened. There was an explosion, but no one saw where it came from.
I think, I mean, there's kind of like a teetering edge where Kuro doesn't want to involve himself in the chance that there could be added suspicion. Like if he starts snooping or something like that, then there could be a chance that he could be implicated in something. But or even if like he starts looking for Vega, then it could be like, well, if Vega's gone when this thing just happened, you know, having that kind of correlation thing happening or something like that. So yeah, I guess from the perspective of the family, like what would be some other assets that maybe I could start looking into? Give me some options here. Kind of drawing a blank if you.
I mean, what are you trying to do?
Ultimately, I think just making sure that I have any kind of indication as if Vega does appear that I can find him, or if there's like a safe house that I could look for that he may eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you contact your people and they're on all the safe houses, but when it comes down to it and you start asking for options from the family, there's a general consensus that he almost certainly suicide bombed. It was the only way to get close enough.
Okay.
Question. This kind of wraps back around into what I was asking last time. How advanced is just like general medical science and Battletech? Like is basically my question is like, it's clear that Bassett's probably going to survive, but
yes.
Is he like looking at like months and months of recovery the way it would be now?
Yeah.
Or is he, okay, so it's not like he's going to walk into the Senate meeting next week with a new prosthetic. It's like, he's like down for at least a month or two.
Correct. Now,
like this would be like I mean, if you were in a violent explosion and lost half your body, it'd be like a year's long recovery now.
He only lost his left arm, just to be clear.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
I mean, still, he'd be out for a while.
Yep.
Okay.
As the day goes on, you are getting requests that the Senate meeting be delayed until as long as possible. That Sebastian Bassett will recover. There's no sign of his arm. It's assumed to just be completely gone, but that they believe he will be conscious and cognizant for a meeting if you delay it till December 30th.
I'm sure there's precedent for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I imagine there's also precedent for my family if like one of us ends up doing something like this, that they're honored in some way and like they're described in like going on a vacation or something like that. There's a way of
oh yeah, no, he died in a yachting accident in the Southern Islands, of course. you know how it is with those scuba tanks if you don't check that air.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Very tragic. And of course he died several days ago, so no one would ever suspect that a dead man couldn't have killed Sebastian Bassett. They just backdate the coroner's report.
Yeah.
You don't ask where the fake body came from. I mean, it's obviously a very real body. It's just not his body. No one really asked where the corpse came from for the burial.
Yeah, I think in my family you don't necessarily ask those questions.
Yeah. Great news for you, Jasper Haruka. Your wife comes home for winter break, and you have a whole
let's go.
You have a whole extra set of days because you aren't attending the Senate meeting until later in the month. Merry Christmas.
I'm awesome.
I'm laughing mostly because like we've been trying to have the Senate meeting and my actions from last episode delayed it further.
That's all I ever wanted.
Anyway, sorry.
I just want to spend some QT with my cutie pie.
Okay, all right.
This is getting.
Uh-huh.
That's
Senate,
my sister you're talking about.
That's your cousin, but yes.
Cousin.
Well, we're as close as
all right.
Anyway,
is there
whatever.
anything anyone wants to do before the delayed meeting?
I think
there's going to be a new measure proposed by Sebastian Bassett there, apparently.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, Lachlan needs to have some kind of conversation with Kuro, because the deal he made, he is going to propose something that is guaranteed to get shot down. So he wants to make sure that that's really what Kuro wants before he does it.
And it should be noted that your McDougal Joint Jobs Program has the following things amended to it, just so that I know whether you're saying yes or no to these. Increased funding to encourage aerospace mercenaries on planet.
Yeah, that was we were good at that.
An official trade delegation led by Jonah von Hohenheim to the planet of Dela Cruz to meet with the 8th Sword of Light Commander.
Absolutely, that's great.
And Angelique Latour would like to increase public infrastructure spending on heavy construction vehicles and roads.
Yep.
Okay, so that, I mean, just to be clear, that will directly impact her, because it's basically like funneling money directly into her pocket. Because her whole government, like her branch of the government and her actual business is that. So some people might consider it to be a bribe. Other people would say, well, look at these spaceports going up. Obviously, you can't have these vehicles tearing up the highways.
The precedent that I mean, part of the implicit deal that, or honestly, not even implicit, like the outright stated aspect of what Lachlan said was, this is good for all of the noble houses and therefore their people. And so it being good for Angelique Latour as well as these other people, I don't think is a big concern for him.
Okay.
Because he wanted to fund roads and bridges and shit anyway.
All right. Meanwhile, to this meeting.
Yeah. So
where does it take place?
I think that would be up to Kuro, because he's a lot more busy than Lachlan is, I'm assuming, after all this Bassett stuff. So it could be a phone call or it could be a meeting.
No, I think it could be something where we take a moment in like kind of a lounge or
sure,
at the Kuro's estate.
Whittington has winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like snow and stuff like that.
It's a temperate planet. It has.
So I'm imagining
seasons.
We've got like a sunroom, and we're like overlooking a nice like snowy, picturesque scene.
At the lodge.
Yeah, like having some drinks or something.
And I imagine that you're like served your beverage of choice, and whether it's hot or cold, like your warm beverage of choice.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Lachlan will like. He'll take a minute, he'll get his drink, he'll like take a sip, and then like he does that thing where like that you see in like movies a lot, where like somebody will like kind of cross a leg over and like to indicate that they're like about to say something, and he'll be like, lean back and look at you and be like, so Kuro, what am I doing in the Senate?
I thought that you had the proposal. I'm unclear.
The deal we made together was that we would do this jobs program and I would put forward your ethics committee. However, now that your co-sponsor has indicated that they are instead going to be fervently against, I thought that I would ask if you still wanted me to propose it.
The jobs program.
No, not the jobs program.
Oh, the ethics. Yes. So, apologies. I've been busy as late, and it's been a bit. Yes. Well, I would say that we still need such things, but without a co-sponsor, it may be difficult to find any kind of backing.
I think difficult may be an understatement when we were talking about this session.
I agree.
I made a deal and I wish to honor it. I've already expressed my concerns. I believe that my concerns were shown in a interesting light when we tried to find co-sponsors for the proposal, but I did agree.
I think the timing, maybe you may have been correct. The timing is not quite right. As much as it pains me, I am more than willing to still honor my side of the agreement, and perhaps we can table this for next session.
Understood. Yeah, I think Lachlan will stand up because this is kind of what he came here for, and he'll just be he'll kind of pat you on the shoulder and be like, "I'm sorry, this is how this one turned out, Kuro. Don't worry, we'll find a way to go after him one way or the other. Seems we're not the only ones who have it out for him, I suppose." Chuckles a little bit.
The Combine is becoming more abrasive as each passing day. It concerns me. That is now 2 attempts on our lives. First you, and now Bassett.
I think it's...
I want to roll.
You want to roll?
Yeah, you're lying to me. You're just bald-faced lying to me.
I want to roll between the two of you. I want to roll off to see if you can read that sociopathic lie that he's handing you, that he doesn't know what's going on, and that we're all under threat.
I do have perception. Holy shit. That's how you parse out lies, right?
Yep.
Awesome. I have +5 to this roll.
Oh, damn. So what would I be doing then? It would be
acting performance, I believe, for lying like this. You're about to spend some XP right before a roll. You know, the traditional.
Maybe. Oh my god. No, I mean, that's definitely not something I'm good at.
Do you have anything that could substitute?
I mean, I have disguise. I have negotiation.
Neither of those are really for lying.
Yeah.
I guess you could lie as part of a negotiation, but that's not really what we're doing.
Stealth, which is
that's for traveling, I think, or like movement.
Deceptive. I don't know. There's too many skills.
Acting, con artistry, and performance.
Yeah, if it's con artistry, that seems.
Okay. Well.
So it's just.
I suppose
I'll give you a +1 for all of your support skills. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
That's fair. And I'm gonna go ahead and just spend some because I don't have any points in this, and it looks like Kuro is going down this path, so might as well.
Cool. I've got a 2 in perception plus a 3 in charisma for a 5, so I will roll here. Oh, that's really good. That's an 11 plus 5. That's a 16.
Jesus Christ. Well, you may figure this out, but
This is the Attack on Titan. This is literally you're looking at a giant wall, and Titan.
Oh, it was almost a double 6.
Yeah, you got robbed. So good.
Oh man, I mean, should I spend an edge? Is it worth it?
I mean, what do you need to hit in order to beat the 16?
Well, so all right, so with the +1 and then me buying 1, I also have a 2, so I'd have a 4 modifier.
It's impossible for you to even match it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with double 6s.
No, double 6s would match it. It would be 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't beat it. I wouldn't spend it.
You spend an edge.
Spend the edge.
Do it.
I mean,
do it.
Yeah.
You have a 1 in 6 chance. What's that? 16.67 repeating, of course, chance of survival.
Does it
how
tie?
Important
Who
is
wins
this
the
to Kuro?
tie?
I don't know.
And the question is, how important is this to Kuro?
I think that's a good question. Because honestly, I feel like if anyone was going to suss out that Kuro did something towards Bassett, it would be Lachlan. And it's kind of one of those things where Lachlan maybe be like, oh.
I'll say this. If there's a tie, Lachlan is unusually suspicious. He doesn't go, "You're lying to me." He goes, "Well, that was a weird answer."
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Spend that edge or let it lie and let the lie?
You know what? Honestly, I love a little bit of failure, and Lachlan rolled really well, and I don't want to rob him of that.
Okay.
And I think this is kind of where, Kuro, I think Kuro leaks a little bit out, and I want to see how Lachlan responds.
Yeah. So I think so I'm imagining this conversation's like happening like as like you're like walking Lachlan out, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, he says that, and you respond, and he like looks at you in the eye and like squints for a second, and then but doesn't say anything, and it's just like, yes, I think your wife is spot on. The Caridans always tend to do this kind of killing before stepping up into a war. It's how history has gone in the past. Anyhow, Kuro, I have to be off. There's a lot to get done before this delayed Senate session. I appreciate your time.
Of course. And I'm glad we were able to clear that up. I apologize that things got a little bit tricky. That conversation with Lord Genji was not quite what I was expecting. I appreciate your support in that.
Genji is a prickly fellow, let's say. Anyhow, I'm sure we'll get it figured out. I think he's like got like a hat or something that he like grabs and like puts on.
Yes. Is it like a derby hat? Can it be a derby hat? What do you think? Is Lachlan a derby hat?
Let me see.
It's like a bowler if you've not seen a derby.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
exactly
cool.
what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So he puts on his hat and heads out the door. I think Kuro. I'll leave it up to Kuro. Like, if you want to have like noticed that Lachlan saw through your lie, you definitely can. And if you don't want to, that's totally fine. But like,
I feel like Lachlan and Kuro know each other well enough now, where there's a good chance that like Kuro knows that he's been found out.
Yeah, sure. But you also know that Lachlan didn't say anything, so
exactly. I feel like in that regard, we recognize each other's state, I guess.
Sure. There was one other thing that I wanted to do, but I don't know that it needs to be a full scene, because basically Lachlan just wanted to at some point talk to Xenia and be like, hey, remember that conversation we had about like trying to be on the same front when it comes to like political stuff? Like, I know that like we talked about this once, but I would have liked to know that there's an announcement.
Yeah, so Xenia sits down with you. Probably you're like standing up talking animatedly is what I imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
And she sits you down and says, the announcement needed to be genuine. And that means it needed to come from me. And I feel that it's important that I also make my own moves politically.
You're right. I can't argue with that. It was much better coming from you. It's honestly, I can't believe I didn't think of that. It was really.
If you had thought of it,
masterstroke.
It would not have worked.
So
I understand. Enough. I should have been on the same page with you.
In regards to that,
are there any so busy?
Yes, that I hear you. I do hear you. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything I should be aware of going into the Senate session.
I don't think so. I mean, I was hoping that I would get to go see Sebastian, but I haven't been able to make time with the kids.
Yes, I understand. I would love to come with you if we can do it.
I don't think it's going to be possible. We're both quite busy, and I would love for Sebastian to meet these children, but they probably shouldn't see him like this.
Understood.
Yes, like,
it's a bit much.
Like in the background, we just see the kids, and it's very clear that they're like a month old, and they'll have no memory of this at all. But she's shook by the fact that someone tried to murder her good friend and mentor.
Yeah. I think maybe like unless there's something else you wanted, AP, there's maybe just like that's kind of how we fade out, is like Lachlan just kind of giving her time to like talk about it or not talk about it as she needs to. Yeah.
The Senate session, the very first motion after the public is ushered out is a slightly loopy Sebastian Bassett asking that this session be closed and that all records not be made public afterwards. No records of the vote, no records of discussion, and that everything be sealed. Now, obviously, he doesn't know whether such a law exists, but you know that it is possible, but it requires a majority vote, and that you would, at this point, you know that you're basically the only person in the room besides Jonna who could call for this correctly.
Even Sir Irwin?
He
can't call for it.
Sir Irwin can't call for it, correct. And the other thing is, Jonna could call for it, but she actually hates Sebastian, and so definitely won't.
Wait, okay, so, but wouldn't she want to do it so that she could shut it down? Because don't we need to have a vote to say no as well? So
she wants everything out in the open. And what he's doing is he's basically saying, this session, I have things to discuss that cannot go on public record.
Sure.
So yeah, Sir Irwin Faber Lake Reingold is looking at you like, do you want to call, this specific sub-vote thing, or are we just going to move on and I'll tell him no? It's entirely subtext through like a raised eyebrow.
Lachlan is going to say, he's going to speak up, and he will say, I would be remiss if I didn't point out the right of every Baron here to raise this as a vote. A majority rule can close the session to the public. I want to make sure that I am sharing this information with everybody here, as we are all new to this, and senatorial procedure is not everyone's expertise. If anyone would like to call this vote, they absolutely have that opportunity now.
So Sebastian says, not only should we call the vote, but it would be scandalous for it to be anything less than a unanimous. Numerous nobles have died at the hands of recent events, and my investigation is under attack by forces. What I have to say is not for public consumption. And then he calls for the vote.
Sure.
So there's a new voting order, which has been established because the level of power between the houses has changed. Sebastian Bassett has shot to first place because he has a company of Battlemechs now, and then a lance of like aggro and industrial mechs, which have been re-outfitted for military purposes. Followed by House Genji, House Menshikov, House von Hohenheim, House Latour, and in last place, currently mounting no military forces whatsoever, House Lafayette. In terms of the reverse order of power among the Knights of Endosteel, it's McDougal, Heroica, Seppaku. So with the smallest military force, Seppaku votes last.
Wouldn't Heroica have a larger military force than me now that he has an Alice?
I technically have 3.
I only have 1 mech. I just have the black mech.
But you only have 1 pilot.
No, I have one.
Oh, my bad. I'll reorder them afterwards then.
Yeah, I think I'm last. Yeah. I think I vote last, but anyway, doesn't matter.
Either way, before we go into further discussion, one thing I wanted to clarify with UAP is, would Kuro have suspicions around maybe what kind of information that he would be revealing?
No, Bassett has been playing this up one of his sleeves.
Yeah, Lachlan wants to see what do the pro-war faction look like they're going to do. And maybe
yes, they look fairly eager to get their hands on whatever information Bassett has.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Lachlan will vote yes.
Bassett's yes. Basically, everybody down to Jonna votes yes. She votes no.
She'll just vote against anything that he proposes.
Correct. House McDougal.
Yay.
House Haruka.
Yay.
Seppaku.
No, I'm ride or die with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn because I look to Jonna, but then also
Jonna is vibrating with rage at you. that you would anything like
vibrating so much your camera goes out of focus.
She's aware that there's no chance that this vote will not go through at this point, right? Like the yays have completely outnumbered, but she doesn't want to be alone in facing down with Sebastian's obvious tactics.
Yeah, I think in that regard, Kuro will support her, but knowing that his vote basically
is meaningless. Correct.
Yeah.
It only matters to one person, but that person is also your wife. So
yeah, and I think some people would understand that.
Sebastian looks scandalous and shocked, and he sends you a glance, Kuro, and then he goes into his findings. He announces that the announcement he previously gave at the ball, with only the barons present, was a ruse, a lie, to see if he could draw out someone at the party to attempt to eliminate him. Because he told you all that the internal security force was the one that he suspected was behind the lake bombing, and that was a lie. And the fact that the internal security force came after him almost immediately afterwards means that someone present in this room tried to kill him, and that he believes that a baron was behind the lake bombing, was behind the bombing of him, that one person in this room is an insane killer, and the whole time he's looking directly at Kuro as he's giving the speech. And that is why I believe that there should be expanded powers for my office, and I would like to ask that Kuro Seppaku join me once again in partnership. Only with his ability to track down whoever this person is that is trying to eliminate all of us will we be able to figure out which one of us or members of our families are traitors, the Federated Sons, to Whittington, and to each other. Expanded powers for my office, a continuation of our mission, and a promise of support from Kuro Seppaku.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is this is the Palpatine moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I want unlimited power to do whatever I want.
Lachlan is going to stand up and is going to say, "Forgive me, Baron Bassett. I understand when someone is deep into an investigation, as you are yourself, and has been so severely attacked that the facts can seem extreme, but I think your timing is a bit mixed up here. We have a confirmed attack from the Karidan, a confirmed Karidan attack that occurred before your announcement at the Karinsky Ball. This would be the second an attack, or I suppose a third if we include the lake bombing, unless you're claiming that that the attack in the intervening time that was made upon myself, Kuro Seppaku, and Jasper Hiroka was some sort of false flag by the Karidans.
I believe that the lake bombing was perpetrated by someone in this room, and I believe that the internal security force attack upon yourself and your family was legitimate. I believe that...
What makes you think that one internal security attack was legitimate and another wasn't?
There is evidence that I cannot share.
If you cannot share the evidence, what point is there in sealing this testimony? You're asking for power that nobody in Whittington has been given in, he's going to quote some ridiculous number of years.
Since the Second Secession War.
Yeah, since the Second Secession War. It's like, we have continued to be allies because I believe in your work, Sebastian. Whether or not anyone believes that is totally up to them, but I did vote for it. And then he'll say, but unless you can give us some sort of concrete evidence, there's absolutely no way that I can vote for this measure. And I would urge that everyone else avoids voting for this measure, because it's clear to me that without some kind of substantial evidence that you have been blinded by this attack and your own hatred, which is understandable, but is not useful when it comes to an investigatory purpose.
He has nothing to say in that regard. He looks kind of like a guy who got bombed recently and just got out of the hospital, who's been dressed down in public, and he's just like, oh, I'm so weak and old now. You know, he's playing the I'm injured card, but in this case, it might not be a play. Yes, this attack on my life. Exactly what happened.
He's going to say, like, I think
he
like
slumps down in his chair and his microphone barely picks up. I thought we were allies.
We are allies, Sebastian, and I'm doing this to help you. This is not the right way to get this done. I understand that we need to get to the bottom of this attack, and I can see that all of this is taking a horrible toll on you, my friend. I simply want to help. I'm sure everyone else can see what I am seeing. Let us help you, my friend. Yeah, Lachlan doesn't have that sly smirk that I have. Just throwing that out there.
And oh man, I think like Kuro was about to speak, and then Lachlan stood up and was like,
and then Lachlan will just sit down and he'll just like kind of like look sad, and kind of like wait to see if anyone else has anything to say.
So, Genji and Audrey. Sorry, Yohei and Audrey are having a discussion. They're not even bothering to use the text messaging system. They're literally just like next to each other. Their podiums are next to each other, and they're just like talking while covering their microphones. And it's clear that something is happening over there.
Oh, question. Can I make like a roll or something to see if I convince people or if that's necessary?
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
There are several people in this room that you can't convince, but there are plenty that you can.
Sure.
Just to be clear, Xenia is going to vote yes on this measure no matter what happens.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to support her friend, which I understand. Yep. But like he was trying to play off of Xenia a little bit with the like, we need to help you, but he understands if she's not convincible. So I've got leadership. I've also got no politics, and I've got protocol. Are any of those appropriate?
I think leadership, certainly. And I'll give you a +1 because you're the current bearer of the sword.
Sweet.
You've also taken a very senatorial leadership role in this session.
What's the cost of bumping a stat point to 2? It's times 1.5, right?
Right.
I don't know.
So it would be 3? No.
Yeah, 4. So 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I think.
Yeah, 2 times 1.5 is 3.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement that this rule system is not the greatest.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 points to give myself an extra leadership. So I'm gonna be rolling with a +6 here.
You have a 4 charisma?
I have a 3 charisma and a 2. Now I have a 2 leadership.
Oh, right. And you have a +1. Yeah.
There's only 2 stats that matter in this game.
Yeah. Charisma and agility are the only stats that matter.
And possibly luck for rerolls, but yeah.
All right. So here's the roll.
Edge, sorry.
That's an 8 + 6 is.
That's a 9, dude.
You're right. That is a 9 + 6 is a 15. Is that good enough, or is it worth rerolling?
That is going to get you to turn the following people, obviously, to your side. Jana was already going to vote no. House Genji and House Lafayette kind of give you the nod that they're also going to vote no to this.
Would doing better bump that in any way?
It doesn't seem like House Menshikov or House Latour are going to move.
Okay, so Latour is...
So the current vote is from your ability to predict the vote is 3-3 plus whatever your group votes.
Got it. Question, I know I'm delaying this a lot, but does Lachlan have any idea why Latour might be so into just giving Bassett a blank check of political power?
You have no idea beyond any context clues you've picked up so far.
Okay. All right, cool. Maybe that's a scene we'll have later down the road. All right, cool. Yeah, then I'm not going to use Edge. I'll take my 15, and yeah, he's just sitting there.
All right, so the vote is Bassett, yes. Genji, no. Menshikov, yes. Von Hohenheim, no. Latour, yes. Lafayette, no. McDougal?
No.
Hiroka?
No.
Baku?
No.
Soundly defeated. Bassett collapses back in his chair. In doing so, he uploads the final report of his office which leads to the conclusion. And just to be clear, it's a grasping conclusion.
House Lake bombing investigation version 7_final_final.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a very tenuous chain of evidence. There's a lot of leaps of logic, but in the end, it is assumed that someone with baronial privilege, so either a baron at the time or someone who had access to like a baron level security program, inserted someone into House Haroka's retinue over the months preceding the lake bombing, and that person got access to a security badge which allowed them in the Countess's mech bay during the mech event. And then it's believed, based on the footage, that the bomber was actually supposed to be an assassin to kill one person, and that by accidentally mishandling an ammunition rack, they actually killed everyone in the area.
Oh, wow.
So like they're supposed to be a personal assassin. Yes, and themselves. So they were supposed to be a personal assassin that infiltrated House Haroka and would set House Haroka up for being like, oh no, one of your personnel like shot the Countess or something, is the assumption. Instead, with the unsecured ammunition, it entered the armory and blew up the entire facility and everyone in the nearby area. It's his final conclusion is that it was an inside job. One of the other barons placed this person within House Haroka's retinue.
But he's not accusing one of the barons.
He doesn't have enough evidence to accuse his final report does not accuse any one person.
There's enough evidence that exonerates Haroka.
You've already been exonerated before, yes.
I know.
And like the report very briefly mentions, like it would be ridiculous for House Haroka to go to such lengths to insert someone into their own service to do this.
Yeah.
You're not a suspect, but you're like at the bottom of the suspect list, only because the only reason you would do that is if you suspected that you were going to get caught in the shittiest way possible.
Hold on, AP.
Yep.
Isn't the only one who that incriminates Bassett? Because none of us had baronial privilege.
That's correct. The only person Bassett also didn't have baronial privilege at the time.
Oh, I thought he was already a baron. Okay.
No, but of course Jacobson isn't a baron. He's a knight.
Oh.
Yeah, so literally it just is somebody who actually, his claim is that somebody did it who then killed themselves on accident.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see why you say
according
there's leaps of logic
report,
and there's leaps of logic and other things. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay.
The Jacobson report.
The Jacobson report. They're going to be talking about it for 50 years. The Majestic 12.
Oh my goodness.
All right, well,
why did Lachlan McDougall try to suppress the information in this report? Tonight, the Comstar.
I tried to get the information out.
The Comstar files. Still do an in-depth look. We're sitting down.
That's what we got to
with the Baron's only son in order to discuss.
Oh God!
Actually, that would be a fun campaign. Quick aside, to play as Comstar and that you're like preserving shit and you're just like assassins, Comstar assassins have to go around infiltrating, silencing things that you don't really understand either. You're just like the Adjustment Bureau.
Wow!
Yeah,
dude, that's actually like a one of those campaigns that I like had a what is it, like a waking dream when I like was just waking up. I had this like crazy concoction of because I just watched the Adjustment Bureau.
So the only other vote to measure to vote for is the McDougall Joint Jobs Program.
Mm-hmm. That's the only other one. No one else.
I mean, the McDougall Joint Jobs Program has like 4 amendments to it.
That's true.
Yeah. Then unless one of you wants to do a surprise, then we're good to
go. Bassett votes no to it. Everyone else votes yes. Then.
Yeah, I think like
Bassett is just really upset.
Yeah. Lachlan.
I mean, this is probably the most childish and enraged you've ever seen him. Like he is fuming.
I think
that's always been our perception of him. So I don't know what you're saying, AP.
Lachlan, when he sees the no vote, gives a look. It's exaggerated in a way that everybody else would be able to tell, and he looks at him just like, "You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart." It's like, I'm just trying to help you. I just want to help. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'll vote yay.
Over the beginning of the winter break, then, Burrow, your wife prepares to leave for Delacruz almost immediately. Your relationship is still in what I would call a rocky state.
Sure.
But she does have an amiable going away meeting with you, indicating that she'll be gone for upwards of a year. She's going to try to open trade relations with Delacruz, and if successful, House Hiroka's like expertise in agricultural farming could be applied to the local Delacruzian economy, and the jade business on Delacruz could come to Whittington, which could then be used to like distribute jade throughout the Federated Suns at an unprecedented rate.
I feel like I don't necessarily need, there doesn't necessarily be a scene, but yeah, I feel like Kuro would be as supportive as possible in her efforts.
Then
kind of saying like, if there's anything my family can do for you, please let me know. Or rather, if there's anything that I can do for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say her immediate answer would be, I thought we were family, but
yeah, that's I needed to clarify that. That's not what I meant.
All right.
So the phrasing was different, but yes.
Let's talk about the assets that each of you received this year before moving into the final phase. Kuro, you lost one asset, so you currently have -1 for removing your own. Calm down. For removing your people from your own planet. Right, they're no longer doing work there. You get 2 for the training that they're doing, so you're now up at +1, and then you get +3. Oh, sorry, you didn't take the apprenticeship. You have -1 because you're paying for school.
So 1.
You have 0 total.
Wait, what was the +3?
There is no +3. The +3 was if you had let your people become military advisors directly. Like,
oh, got it.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So
sorry.
it was -1 to +2, and then another -1.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So you're
but
paying
it equates to 0.
You're paying for your cousin's schooling at the New Avalon Institute of Science, which is a hefty fee.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Wait, why is he paying? Oh, because he agreed to.
You
He
agreed to.
He offered.
Yeah, it was his mistake. He did it.
That's true. He offered.
No, but you paid me for it. So is it like every year that is a new thing?
It's every year.
Oh no, I'm not paying you.
If Jasper wants to fund you one, that's his own business. So Jasper, you get 2 assets this year.
It was me letting you save face
because of your criminal activities. Your people doing like basic money laundering.
-2 for they're also criminal activities.
No, it's +2. +1 for your new mech riding business. Which even though it's only been around for 1 season, but it's immensely profitable.
Even though what's it called? What's the in canon word for the Power Ranger Megazording?
Yes, Triformers.
Triformers, yeah.
Triformers Power Force. Yeah.
Thank you. Triformers Power Force was the I'm writing that down.
And you get +1 for business taxes that have been funded your way. This is the final year that the measure that you passed 2 years
Subsidies.
ago. Yeah. Lachlan McDougal. +2 assets for being bribed.
When did I get bribed?
Why do I get bribed?
You're bribed.
This is great.
You're bribed regularly by businessmen.
Oh, okay.
+1 for just
those aren't bribes. Those are contributions.
Okay,
AP.
whatever you want to call it.
No, so here's the thing: is when somebody bribes you.
Oh, I'm clearly doing this business thing wrong because you all are getting like assets left and right, and I'm just like, oh, I'm doing the moral thing.
Oh, you tried to kill someone.
hey,
moral thing.
That was deserved.
Wow.
But you know, like contrast, like that was Kuro slipping into some indoctrination, versus Kuro trying to do the right thing and not having his teachers be used as military advisors for Outer Worlds.
Exactly.
Lachlan McDougal, +2 for
balance.
contribution bribes, +1 for the business deals that you've been using, and +1 for the Phase 7 renovations that even though it's not done, right? Like the access to another worker dormitory means that you can hire more people to do more asteroid mining, etc., etc. The other thing to note is that in her spare time, Xenia has moved her how should I put this? Scientific apparatus up to the station to get a clear signal, and that only the Phase 7 renovations have the kind of power and clarity of, you know, universal focus that will allow her to send the signals that she wants
To try to find that castle.
Yes, she has basically turned away from attempting time travel to looking for old Star League Defense Force Castle Bryans.
Yeah. The needle in the haystack problem.
So a question, when it comes to the like job spending stuff, will that money kick in like the next year since we voted it?
Correct.
Cool. Awesome.
Not immediately.
Yeah, I figured. What do we spend assets on again? We got to pay for stuff, right?
Yes, and we'll get to that in just a second. In addition, at the end of the year, the Baronet Cal Alistair Baldwin VI retreats from the planet and breaks his engagement with the young Countess. With him go 2 regiments of infantry that were essentially like raised by the March Lord, leaving the planet much less well defended. Also,
wait, so he came, raised an army, and then left.
The March
and
Lord
took the army with him.
The March Lord raised an army and sent it there. This kid showed up and was like, "I'm in charge of this army now. I'm 14 years old. I'm super strong." He's now mysteriously broken his engagement to a child, a baby, basically, and left. Well, I mean, he's also a child because he's like 14. He doesn't really explain what he does. He just leaves, and with him goes 2 regiments of infantry.
That's not necessarily. It was kind of a double-edged sword when it was here. So
correct. I mean, it was
fair.
like a threat. Like I could take over your planet at any time if you don't do what I want.
Yeah.
The final thing to note, just in case I hadn't already covered it, is that Justin Shang Allard disappeared from Solaris and has now been spotted in the Capellian Confederation as part of the Maskarova Intelligence Services Crisis Team, which is specifically the team. It's like the Davian intelligence team. Mm-hmm. So he basically like defected to the anti-Davian desk, and so now he's not the head of, but he's a member of the Let's Fuck the Federated Sons Over Bureau. All right, so it's been a really, really, really long time since we've done economic circumstances, but let's get to it.
I think Sapaku family is going to have another hard time. Maybe not.
None of you have any problems with your peasantry, and you haven't been raided, so you can commit assets to your stewardship role for your economic circumstances.
What else are assets
Zero
used
assets.
You can use them to help you buy mechs or assets.
They go away at the end of the year, right?
Correct, but you could use them to like be like, I would like to buy a tutor, or I would like to hire a mercenary to like run my
like,
tank.
Yeah.
Or fix my ECM on Raven.
Yes, you could spend an asset to fix the Raven ECM.
If I only had an asset.
Rough. It's rough life, buddy.
How much does it cost to like buy tanks? Because I have 10 tankers, but I have no tanks.
So they cost
I forgot about that.
Like one lance of tanks costs the same as an equivalent battle mech. So whatever the XP it would be required to get a light battle mech, you could get 4 tanks.
What if I want a bunch of Shrek PPC carriers?
Then you would need to buy a assault.
I want a combo of I want SRM and LRM carriers. That's what I want.
Okay.
But can't remember how much that would cost. I think it's like, isn't it like 1 for a light, 2 for a medium, 3 for heavy, 4 for.
So an LRM carrier is a heavy vehicle.
What about the SRM?
It's the same size. They're both heavies. So if you wanted to get 2 and 2, XP for
3.
buying that by a. Oh, I'm sorry. It actually does tell you how much individual combat vehicles cost. All right. So buying a heavy combat vehicle is 6 EXP. Buying an assault combat vehicle like a Shrek is 8 EXP.
Whoa. How is it more than a mech?
It's not.
Because I was thinking the recovery cost.
Yes. So mechs cost 2 more in every case.
But unless you're recovering off the battlefield. Okay, I'm not going to do that. That's too expensive.
My bad.
How much would it be to like hire some more folks?
1 asset will let you get 1 crew of things.
Got it.
So 1 asset will let you get an instructor to teach somebody how to pilot a battle mech, or an instructor in anything, or 1 tank crew, 1 battle mech pilot, 1 aerospace pilot.
There's probably that's what I would like to do. I would like to spend an asset to have like a tutor for what's her name, for Celeste, because she's like 3-4 years old. Like she needs like preschool. I'm guessing we don't have public school. I mean, we're nobles. We don't send our kids
you don't
to
go to public school.
So like I'm assuming she needs like a private tutor and shit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Tutor for Celeste. Got it.
Cool. Yeah. So then I have 3 left.
While you're thinking about it, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Maybe it requires role play.
Yep.
I'm really hoping it doesn't.
Okay.
At some point, I need to talk to my wife about my legacy.
Yeah, we're gonna make the marriage rules or the childhood rules.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
It just feels like it's been forever because you've
had you've had enough meetings with your wife that it would not be unreasonable for you to have had a child.
Okay.
Yes. You just need the rules to come up good.
Understood. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was on the table this year.
Listen, when you talk about legacy with her, she's very excited to do some legacying. She's been waiting to legacy with you all year.
All right.
Just remember that she thinks that you're her hero. So.
Enough for a hero.
Nope, not that song.
Okay.
Different song. Anyone else spending assets?
That one. Okay. Not holding on for a hero?
Okay. Anyone else spending assets, or are you putting it all towards your stewardship? Kuro's gonna beg somebody to give him an asset to fix that ECM, or sorry, it's called something different on the model of Raven that you have. I think it might be called an E-War module, because it's
okay.
Yeah.
If Kuro was willing to ask, Lachlan would probably, at the very least, consider giving him a no-interest loan to fix his.
I mean, that's the main reason why I haven't been fielding the Raven, is because that ECM is
right. That's what I'm saying. Is like it's good for all of us. So like, if you ask him, but it's like I knowing Kuro's character, I could totally see it being like, yeah, there's 0 chance that he would ever have.
I mean, I feel like there's like he's starting to like. Again, I mean, he's been on the fence for a while, but he's starting to lean in a direction. But yeah, I don't think he'd necessarily ask. I think there would be like hints of that. He like kind of every now and then you all will walk in the hangar bay, or like we don't have a hangar bay yet, but you will we'll tour each other's machines, and Kuro will just like glance longingly at the Raven.
I'm all out of love.
Yeah, I think
so
maybe what
hard
happens is like
out
after one of these times, like we just see like Lachlan rolling his eyes, and then like in the next scene you just like get a message, and it's like a contract laying out like a no interest loan, like to be paid back in no less than 10 standard Whittington years for like one asset. Basically just absurdly good terms for you, right?
Right,
He's not he just wants it to be legal, but
The
he's
final
not, like,
scene
fuck you over.
is a guy in a Jacobson Unlimited van showing up with this. He just takes an entire thing off the back of the van, right? Like the whole van is just this one part.
and there's a sour note like as the van is being unloaded, where Kuro calls out, Vega, get this, and then the scene kind of shadows.
Like Everybody nearby reacts as well, and they do their best to pretend like they didn't hear you do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't speak of the fallen operative. All right, so.
AP, I'm sorry, man. I got one more question. So sorry. Can I donate some of my assets to either the Arcades or my House Davies?
Yes, absolutely.
I would like to give them each one. I don't even know what it represents, but it's just like a gift / an endowment. You know what I mean? To them for just loyalty for
nice
a good year.
Bonus.
Yeah, a little bonus for the year, and just making sure that's okay.
The bonus for the whole Arcade family going directly into Arcades.
Hey, that might be. Hey, look, it's fine. It's a gift. I don't ask what they do with it.
I mean, yeah.
This is to share. Share Arcade.
They're citizens. They have a awesome little like mech riding company,
business.
And and so I'm just giving them extra money for that, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
House Davies immediately
I don't want to hold a ship
spends their asset now that they've heard that House McDougal is getting a tutor. They're getting a tutor for their grandkids.
Yeah,
like a nice noble tutor, right? They are technically a low-ranking noble family, and so they want to raise their grandkids better than they were raised. So,
yeah, well, giving them everything they can.
One day,
that kid's only 3. Why does he need a tutor? What are they thinking?
It's not clear what Arkady spends his money on. But the money is accepted with great graciousness. There's lots of bowing and offering of sacred knives.
Look, fine with me. It was a long and arduous year, and I just want to thank them for being loyal. Yeah.
Oh my God! When you thank them for being loyal, I would like you to make a perception check.
Oh no.
Difficulty is 14.
Well, that's fine. I'm just checking my perception, making sure that it is indeed 0. Okay. It's intelligence too, right?
Yeah.
It's 14. I literally can't make it.
All right. That's fine. All right.
Yeah, like an 8.
So for the viewers at home who are very canny, they know Arkady's actor is probably like best supporting actor of the year for like 10 years running. You know what I mean? They notice a very brief flicker on his face, and all of the fan boards for our television show are all like, oh shit, Arkady's in on it! And like, it gets added to a conspiracy wall where Arkady is the center point around which the whole universe rotates. But for Jasper Hiroka, he thinks Arkady is, of course, the great loyal man that we all believe him to be.
Yeah, that I've spent so much of my time in political resources legitimizing.
I agree. So. I agree that you believe that.
You know, crime lords are famously loyal. Famously loyal crime lords.
Oh yeah.
Well, a well-fed, well-protected crime lord is famously loyal. I mean, hey, for what it's worth, politically, there is zero difference between a secondary noble house and a crime lord. Okay, they're the exact same. They both need to eat.
Jay, you're not wrong.
So, you can spend any remaining assets on your stewardship roll. which is 2d6 plus whatever your remaining assets are. You need to hit a 11 or greater.
Can we not spend on the luck roll? Is that how that works?
Yes, the next roll
right?
is so the first one is stewardship, the second one is general events. You can't spend anything on general events. You can only use edge.
Cool. I will.
Can I use edge on both of these or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I will spend my remaining 2.
Need an
assets
11 or
because-
better on 2-sided dice.
Yes. With your plus your leadership.
leadership.
And your
Plus my plus my leadership.
Plus your leadership.
Plus
Sorry.
assets.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Your assets add directly to the die faces. So
Gotcha.
you could conceivably get boxcars with it.
Yeah, so I'm already at I'm plus my leadership.
I already got 11, so it's a
You have a success.
15.
Yep.
15.
Question. AP. So there's assets go away at the end of the year. So this is use them or lose them. All right. So
use them and lose them.
I'm rolling with a +7, I believe.
Wow.
And we
that's
fixed
big.
my ECM. Oh,
Good thing I was holding on for a
Very
hero to the end of the night. I'm good.
That's a 6 + 7 is good enough, right?
6 + 7 is good enough.
Is there any reason to go above?
Trying to hit the
the rich
boxcars.
Yeah. I'm gonna reroll.
Oh,
I'm gonna
critical
reroll with one
success.
edge.
congrats, man.
I edged it.
Yep.
Nope, it still hits, but so I succeed, but no crit success.
Yeah, don't worry, it's
Oh.
Jasper that got the critical. All right.
So
now,
what does the critical do?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
It's a chart. It's in the Oath of Endosteel player resources.
Right.
If it matters at all, my final score was a 20.
Doesn't. You're just that good. Now you're just doing 2d6 plus your leadership to how you navigate general events rather than
Okay, +5.
Jasper.
I don't know hold on, I just rolled a 5 and I'm trying to add my next stuff to it. That's Supaku.
Oh, right.
Roka.
I'm gonna spend
think it's
edge
6.
to reroll this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my edge to reroll both.
That's an 8
11.
+ 5.
Jesus. I'm
That's
just
a
not
success.
getting.
8
I'm
+
not
5
getting
is a 13.
any.
So yeah,
Sorry,
I
go
got
ahead.
13.
I will spend my last edge to reroll that 1.
Okay.
I'm just not getting any kind of luck.
I'll take a 16.
Success.
Each edge I've rolled got me a 6. Feels great.
Dude, I rolled edge and I got worse than the previous time because I got like a 3 and a 1 and then I got a double 2, so I literally got no benefit.
Oof.
So I got a success on both, I believe.
That's what I was
read.
aiming for.
Yes. All right. So, Jasper Hiroka, your
what's
year
up?
was superlative for you. Your primary battle mech is maintained with no dissolutions to it. You can improve your circumstance or that of a family member or an ally by acquiring an asset that is a tutor, a mechanic, or any type of expert in a field.
That would have been great for me.
Permanently added to your house. So you can offer this to yourself, to your family, or to an ally. What would you like to do?
I just lost a tech.
My family.
Yeah. What do you get in your family?
I think so it was a tutor,
Tutor, mechanic. These are just examples, right? You know, like you
Yeah.
could get like a super nice butler or an assassin. Just like someone who is skilled in a field can be added to your repertoire.
Oh yeah, I want a security guard.
Like a master security guard then.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Mark
Like
that
a
down.
true badass.
After getting shot or whatever, like and having to run away, like
That makes
having.
sense.
We can do this.
You have the bodyguard, right?
Could it be? Yeah. Could it be like a gift from the Arcades in a way that like the Arcade? It's like an Arcades, like this is my
Master,
son kind of thing.
Yes.
Are they a mech pilot?
No.
Well,
They're just my personal bodyguard.
I was gonna ask, and Eric, you can describe this later. But at some point, I want to know like which of the like badass bodyguard archetypes this dude is. Right? It's
Sure.
there's like from different movies. There's like all the different versions of like badass enforcer guy. I'm just curious which one that they give to Hiroka.
We want to know what mid boss people have to fight before they get to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it like big and beefy? Is it like skinny stabby? Is it like
Kurosapaku with a success and a failure.
Mm-hmm.
You have had a normal year.
This is every year for me, basically. So it's cool.
Your primary battle mech suffers 1 equipment degradation.
Cool.
So I believe this year your primary battle mech was the fire starter. So it's already suffered a little bit, and it's about to suffer some more. I need to find my copy of Strategic Operations and then pop that thing open.
It has an exploded jump jet. Is currently what's wrong.
Well, it's about to have a little bit more.
I know. Hey, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. You know, Crow's luck is going to turn. It's fine.
My bodyguard is Emily Blunt.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, 2d6. 3 and 3 for 6. 1 randomly determined weapon generates 2 additional points of heat, even if that weapon is incapable of generating heat.
Oh, interesting.
All right, so let's take a look at your Raven, Grasshopper. Where the hell's your fire starter?
I don't know.
Over here.
Oh, it's it's in the primary mech sheets area. That makes sense. Yep. You have 5 weapons, so I'm gonna roll a d6, and the flamer will be on a 5 or a 6. Yep. Your forward-mounted flamethrower now generates 2 extra points of heat when fired.
Oh, forward mount, flamer, plus 2 heat. Cool.
There's just a problem with the reactor. Whenever it tries to pour they can't fix it. Every time they get in there, it melts the seal.
Mm-hmm.
Lachlan McDougall, you had a success for a rich year. Your primary battle mech is maintained. Your family has a good time. Not good, not bad.
And just so that I'm clear, the crit success is only on boxcars, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Next up, we need to talk about love and marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to find my love
Go
and marriage
together like
chart.
a horse and carriage.
Yep, you know what I'm talking about. Talking about it. I'm pretty sure I wrote something up on the GM notes, but now I can't find it.
All your notes say holding out for a hero.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Just over and over and over.
I have the Noble Code of Bushido, which doesn't help me.
What's a bummer is that if I had 1 asset, I would have had a rich year.
Here it is. I found it.
Well, no, if you had had 1 asset, you wouldn't have had to borrow from me to fix your mech.
That's true. That is true. But no. I was more just thinking that because AP was saying that it adds directly to the dice, and I had just below boxcars. So that's all I was thinking about.
Okay.
Look, I'm just disappointed that AP calls the legitimate contributions to the running and maintenance of our good Whittington spaceport bribes of all things. I'm just so ruthless.
I'm just sad that 80s science fiction doesn't pay teachers better.
Look, you could have been fine.
I know.
You were teaching the right thing.
Is it?
I mean, I guess I could reframe as like a corporate.
Oh, one thing that
it's technically a duty, which is a form of a tariff, right?
What they pay for the spaceport stuff.
Yeah. Like your bribe, like your 10% on top, right, is technically a tax, which is on imports.
But I don't think it's technical. Well, I don't know. It's arguable whether it's a tax or not because it's like done by not technically the government, but it's also like tacitly permitted by the government. Yes, it's like
you're wielding state power. Like I don't know, you're the government.
Yeah, no, you're right. Good point.
All right, I'm finally rolling. I'm almost ready. To get started.
One
yes,
thing.
Everyone is rolling a d20.
All right, let me put on some Marvin Gaye and then I'll roll a d20.
Wait. Before we roll it, I have to make sure that everyone wants to have children with their spouses. Is that a yes?
Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll attempt it, but I don't know if she's even open to it.
She is. Okay. You have a combined noble line that she would like maintained.
Yeah.
Listen, your marriage is political, to be sure.
Yeah.
But there is some expectation. All right, so let me get a
So
d20 for each of you.
We have legacy out of duty.
Yeah. Listen, it's
right.
way more sad than how I'm making it out to be. Like,
Oh yeah.
yes. All right, so I've given each of you d20. Lachlan, you want to have more kids? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, make the rolls. Tell me your results.
Oh, they're there.
It's just a 2d6, right?
No, d20.
It's a
Oh,
d20.
shit. D20.
Roll the purple. Throw it across the room.
That's a 7.
What? All right. Are these dice rigged?
Give me the results.
I feel like I need to do better.
Eddie, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 7.
Okay.
That's why I said, are these dice rigged?
Lachlan, you got a 7 as well?
I got a 7, yeah.
Eric?
Jasper got a 13.
All right. Roll d6, please, Jasper Hiroka.
I rolled another
Thank
7.
you, Marvin Gaye. 3.
I mean, I think you already know that you
The
just
girl?
had a girl.
Nice.
Can you tell me
Yep.
the name of this young child?
I don't know yet. I have to think about it.
Okay.
She won't be born until middle of next year, is that right?
Mazel tov. So I'm willing to say that she got pregnant in the late summer, and that she'll be born sometime in the spring.
Sometime before
During
funeral.
Jasper's massive panic. Yeah. Next up, we are checking for the survival of your children. Everyone roll d20 for each of your kids.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that this was a thing.
That includes the new kids.
I just rolled a 1.
Wow. Well,
Uh-oh.
we'll talk later.
All right, so I just lost my kid. All right.
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't play it off that easily, but yes.
Okay, so I rolled a 3 for the
Okay,
first
well,
roll.
guess we got to talk about it. 'Cause what the fuck? All right.
We'll
That's
have a talk
10.
off camera about the
Yeah.
resolution of this, whether we want to handle it like that. But
3 for the first roll, 10 for the second roll. And 5 for the third roll. Can you use edge for these? Woof.
no. Your children are all fine.
That's good.
Kuro doesn't need to roll at all.
No.
Next up, I need everyone to roll a d20.
I shouldn't have used the Kuro's purple die. That's the problem. I rolled a 2. Kuro, your luck is I'm getting the
Dude, no,
Kuro luck.
he gave us all purple die. It's not
Oh,
mine.
that's a jank roll.
I got a
think.
2.
Well, no, if I hover over it says 10, so it's a 10.
I got a 12. I threw away this. I'm getting rid of this purple die. Out of here. Get off the table.
So Jasper,
the shadow room.
sorry,
Jasper got a 10.
Jasper got a 10. Okay, and Kuro got a 10.
I got a 12.
12, and Lachlan?
2.
Ooh.
What were we rolling for?
General
Just
badness.
give me a moment here. I'm just gonna-
Family events. I know he's rolling family events.
Something Rosamund is gonna cause me some trouble.
Rosalind is accused of being a witch.
Sorcery.
You know your cousin Malcolm?
Yes, the only other mech warrior in my house.
He had a very severe brain aneurysm and he died this
The
year.
silent killer.
Yeah. Malcolm is gone.
Rip Malcolm.
We haven't met her yet, but
Yeah.
at some point we'll have to meet Anko. She's the other mech pirate. She's from my mother's side.
All right. Well, goodbye, cousin Malcolm. We never met you.
She's the only other family member. Does she have a family? Please let her have a family.
Congratulations to House Davies on another grandchild born.
Nice.
Hey, well, they don't need a tutor for.
Look, it's okay if the Mechwarriors in my house die. I just need to last long enough for the kids to grow up, and then I'll have plenty of Mechwarriors.
I have great news for fans of Vega Kane. It turns out that he left behind a girlfriend who was pregnant.
Nice.
Now a young Kane child has been born.
Excellent.
That's better than nothing, I guess. Well, I guess the kid doesn't have a dad now. It's not great.
That's correct. The kid does not have a dad.
Yeah. But he does have a family that will support him.
That wraps up 3028 and 3027. Unless there's anything you all wanted to pack in at the last second.
No, don't think so.
I really don't want to lose my kid.
Yeah, listen, we haven't discussed it.
I know it's on the table,
so I definitely want to have a conversation about.
But I will pay a dark bargain to not have it. Have that happen.
We'll talk about the rules.
Okay.
You know, I borrowed them from Pendragon, and Pendragon is a lot darker than the Battletech universe.
Doesn't have modern medicine.
Correct.
Yeah. From that perspective, Pendragon is pretty different than Mechwarrior.
So everyone can take 3 experience points.
Nice. Do I get any bonus for getting my landmark legislation passed?
You got money for getting your landmark legislation passed.
Fair point.
And that's not considered.
I want to donate.
Yes.
I want to either give an XP or argue that Eddie deserves an additional XP.
Okay.
Because I think that
give me your argument.
At the start of the session, when we had that like cool role about embracing failure and like being like, no, actually, I think Lachlan is the one to do that. I loved that fucking shit right there. I was so happy. I was excited. I was on the edge of my seat. I was pogging, and I wanted this to go. I will literally give an XP.
Listen,
Eric was totally pog champ at that moment.
Yeah. Listen, I know that you hate the word simp despite the fact it fills me with much laughter. I feel the same way about pog. I don't understand it. I see people that are like poggers, pog champ, and I'm like, what the fuck does it mean? You're speaking a foreign language.
It means
it means
awesome.
are just not very poggers.
It means
poggers. I'm telling you that.
That's really the problem.
It's a shock of joy face. Like that was an awesome time.
Is it?
So
is it like
so the pog to be like yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
So
interesting.
So for our preview into 3028, we jump as far forward as April. Where on the news there is a discussion about Wolf's Dragoons, the most famous mercenary unit in the Inner Sphere. They showed up from, so it's James Jives, and he goes, they showed up from beyond the periphery with huge regiments, with a mobile starship, with mech designs that haven't been seen in generations, predating to the Star League, and with totally new designs no one has ever seen before. They've worked for every one of the great houses to huge success. And Donegal Broadcasting Corporation has a exclusive report that Wolf's Dragoons has attacked a Comstar compound and is now, with its contract with the Draconis Combine ending, drawing a Draconis Combine warlord to the planet of, I believe, Misery, according to this report that's come across my desk, and is challenging the coordinator of the Draconis Combine to single combat on this world, where numerous regiments have formed. The fighting is tough, and the Wolf's Dragoons has been placed under a Comstar blackout. No information to or from their unit is to be sent, given their crimes against the neutral arbiter of all peoples, Comstar Corporation, and religion. We at Donegal Broadcasting Corporation would like to thank Comstar for everything that they do for us, the Inner Sphere, and all of humanity during these dark times. Text 010101 now to Donegal Broadcasting Corporation's local offices to donate to a charity helping those injured during the Wolf's Dragoons attack on the Comstar facility. As that is wrapping up, we see that it was Lachlan and Xenia ignoring the report going on in the background as she's looking down at a device and there's like a red beep and she's like, did you see that?
That's not what I think it is it?
There's another red beep and she says, they're answering my Star League Defense Force signal. It's in the asteroid belt. Here, in this system.
That's incredible. That seems impossible.
I think you're going to have to go investigate.
I absolutely am going to have to go investigate. This is amazing.
And darling, it's moving.
What? Like, in orbit, or?
It's in the asteroid belt at the edge of the system. Look. I've been tracking it, and she like shows you a series of incidents over the last 3 months since she activated the system, where like a miner who was out on his own asteroid mining like disappeared and no one ever heard from him again, and the signal came from that location very briefly. She's been cleaning it up like to get its exact location, and now she's like correctly tracked it moving through the asteroid field. She believes that there's a rogue asteroid moving in the opposite direction of the asteroid field's rotation, and this rogue signal is like the people are out there and they call their supervisor and they're like, hey Jed, I just saw something moving out here, I'm real worried, that ain't normal. And they're just like, it's just a rock turning over, you probably just fucked something up. Like, she's been tracking this. There's been 6 incidents of like sightings or people disappearing, and she's pretty sure she's narrowed down which asteroid is the problem.
Yeah, Lachlan is like, you know, jumping up and down. He like maybe does like one of those things where he like tries to like spin Xenia around because he's like super excited. He's
yeah,
like,
but as you're doing it, she's like, stop.
Yeah, she's like,
there's a problem. If I'm picking this up, that means everyone else can pick it up too. It's answering the call, which means anyone can get out there and salvage this thing. You're gonna need to take a team out immediately.
Oh, we're going to go immediately. Xenia, this is amazing. This could be the greatest discovery in the history of Whittington.
She looks like that's pretty minor. Well, the previous discovery was about meadow wheat, so yeah.
It's like I think it like doesn't even slow Lachlan down. He's just like going off. He's like talking about making plans. He starts like calling for different people to like start making plans to
get the excursion,
you know,
get the ship set up.
So you're gonna need to charter a dropship, which it shouldn't be too hard for you. Like, you don't own dropships, but you could surely call on somebody for a favor because you're a spaceport administrator. Are you taking mechs? Are you taking a team with you?
Yes, absolutely. I would try to take the Endosteel team if they'll go with me.
That's good. You're gonna need them. You're gonna need all of them.
The full squad.
Space.
I think maybe maybe we should get like a scene. It's like, I think like it's like late night, right? And like you guys you see that there's like a joint call coming in for the both of you from Lachlan.
Boop, boop, bop, boop, bop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
it's
my
Skype. And if you answer,
of course,
call.
Yeah, you see like a slightly like disheveled Lachlan, and he's just like,
end screen. Boom. That's it.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to tune in next time for it.
Perfect.
I am gonna get the space combat and movement rules for you guys.
Oh shit!
One thing to note is that mechs have trouble dissipating heat in space because heat sinks are convection based.
Yeah.
James was just talking to me about this.
That's bad for me.
You better believe it's bad for you.
I mean, is there also like recoil of shooting?
You can run a lot faster. So for I believe it's for every 0.1 microgravities below 1, you can run twice as fast.
What I mean is, in zero gravity, like if you shoot, like, you know, there's like energy that pushes you backwards.
So there are very long rules for space combat.
Okay, there's long rules for space combat.
They're going to be bad for you.
Oh yeah, don't worry, dude. I've been reading Traveler all day, so like I'm here for it.
I'm just excited because now I can finally get my badass King Crab from before the time before time.
And I wonder
AP will let me get really.
And now we must wonder why it's activating in the year 3028.
Well, Xenia sent a message out trying to activate things.
Yeah, she was trying to like ping off of it and like get it to activate.
Xenia woke it up from its long slumber.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do. Has nothing to do with the Grey Death Legion. Okay.
No, sorry. The Hell Memory Core hasn't happened yet.
It happens in 3028.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. It's April.
Got it. Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. One, because we're doing space.
Whoa, we're doing space. Listen, we're gonna do space real hard.
Yeah, we're doing a Gundam. we're doing Gundam today.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of. I just totally had the Gundam waltz or like endless waltz flashing in my head. And just for clarification, what was the verdict on the XP for my records?
I'll give you a +1. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, man. That one. Yeah. Thanks for the argument, Eric. That was a fun choice to have.
Good stuff. Good session.
Yeah, good session all.
Yeah, great stuff, AP. Glad to be back in the cockpit, you know.
I should have had the cockpit background. Oh well. I will next time. Next session.
I'm gonna update the public thing to have Athena and Angus and everybody's ages have been pushed forward 1 year. The public Endosteel wiki control B. That seemed to have worked. Any final notes? I'd like the players to stick around for a minute because I want to talk about consequences.
Sure.
I really should have done this beforehand, but who knew that Eric would roll 1 on a d20?
Oh, geez.
And I hadn't thought it through. So,
Don't worry.
final notes. Okay, we'll be back next week.
I'm okay.
All right. What was that, Eric? Was that a yes or was that a I don't know?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here next week. Sorry. Yeah.
We're here next week then, friends.
Yeah. You're good.